ye mama nsia na omo kwakosom anya pepa kwakosom manfo akoye soja djuma. You know, to want to serve in the military is a big honor. Na say ye be friend po say ye pe soja fo na be nyankofo free ukrom say omo ba be di soja ne kra no ya dia. In fact, it is an honor. Omo koye enam tutu yanko yinti emunsia hwere omo nkwa bebre so prepra ye de yako e de be ma omo a afri mu na ye de sheden so ne speed recovery ama ye nuanom a omo so e praye yakohwe wom na ebeko so anso akosrasra wom ahwe woni a wom afri mu so ba be call rounds akosiesie abusuafo no de ye kan say yame for currency say atorenchem bi say sia. One of the first calls are very likely ubenya pa and call for heads. There must be consequences. You know, let heads roll. And you ma waiting for defense staff resign yensaki I mean commander yensaki we but ninyina mu. See, what I say is that asemo ba yenyabotre said the nipa free mu ewu say no enye de politics. It must not be dealt with partisan considerations. Media ka menkwa and ka mesre se ye nyina yen support soja for mpenifo yi na emwa bi emu hia yen fa moa wo na yen use the sad occasion yen fa introduce reforms and no ebe ma very decent, very efficient and very appropriate recruitment policy ni say ya ebe ma bibia koso wano a we should rather use this opportunity to support them to reform totally. And you know, there will be board of inquiry, there will be a lot of investigations, and there will be consequences, all right. But message will be a nyambotre. This is not the time to say Yema will resign. Yen support to Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Japan. Yes. And the Chief of Staff, Vice Marshal Mensa Lakai, the support to the Chief of Air Staff, Vice Marshal Agent Frempong, Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Besson, and Army Commander, and so Chief of Air Staff Coas, and so Major General Betanu. And Nabuafo, you support to them in these difficult times. This is a time they need our support. And yes, our brave way and our best score political points be. Nemum yes, so far 70 it be to 2 years. Na ye koye ni mo. The akabian so say hwehwemu ekoso no. Ebekoso. We are not saying say we are throwing away accountability or consequences.
Me share pictures are free Elwak Eba when they resumed recruitment exercise. I think about 2 days or 3 days ago, and I was asking myself, say, it hadn't yes away from the beginning. No, because to think of the fact that when your data at the back end in your system, who said NIPA 80,000 and our top forms are apply online, a moon 21,000, so and our woman are selected. Elwak and several thousand so unselected Kumasi. What was these two? Even though we have decentralized to all the regions there, but two near overly subscribed. And no should have prompted the or more Ntim and even to send them all 21,000 single message 1 day, so 1 day. There were a lot of things, deployment, there were a lot of lapses. But Ninino is see ye suggested say yen poso na yen hwe ne yemwa yen church adwen ne nyina yemwa suggestions nso at the minority of defense and interior committee and the caucus, minority caucus at the time. Immediately now Honorable Anodompre read a message on the floor. That time Nami was Simon El Volta, and very very cogent suggestions. Yes, we buy the big can Ninino my chairman Honorable Agaga, and so the big can and the entire committee on defense and interior, we made suggestions, and those suggestions, and so Chief of Defense Staff Tina Supem, Lieutenant General William Japan, and then the team, they made some changes, reassigned. Video, where current recruitment.
Oh yes,
canopies were
very orderly.
I mean,
very orderly. Yeah. And this listen to it. And we create 8 centers. And Krankwa, and we create additional 3 centers in so Kumasi. And
woko elwaka even a crowd 2 centers na ho and Nichols and other places Elbema camp and you know the other pictures are you who ya na man for aboche nkuti from etwe moto from the queue no now you look at them decently seated
very nice.
you know orderly spaced out and very dignified manner
you know
and we know that our armed forces we have every confidence in them. They will continue to hold high the flag of Ghana and they will continue to ensure they improve upon the system, you know, year by year. Crisis is so bay. Let's use it to even deepen reforms. And you know, suggestions, no mind say but beyond this, no, we want to take interest, said, and just temporary measures. Now you baby, you know. Now another recruitment and so so we'll meet them next week. Now your suggestions say I mean to me we don't even want to have recruitment. As it brings a lot of ideas. You know, now yet to me there's a time we are coming to attack them. This is a time we are coming to point failures. But this is a time the minority we want to support. The Ghana and for that's all we have, and we have some very fine soldiers occupy the top hierarchy. So we will let them. We will discuss. Why can't we do all year round recruitment, for instance? Said the amount be why should we pull them together and then in a year near one event? So if it is 5,000 financial clearance and yenya for let's say 2026 financial year, let's spread it across the months. Spread it. Region be a permanent military base and recruitment center. He can walk in, before then on website you can download your profile and then you can even be scheduled to walk into a center, set an aptitude test into we still pass here. At that point, now say no body selection, any medical all those things, like USA, any other places here, we can do same. If we can do what we are seeing on the TV. After the crisis came, we began COVID but COVID forced us to want to rethink a lot of things. Let us use this occasion not to do politics. Let us use this occasion not to just call for heads of top soldiers, but let us use it to reform and to bring suggestions about improve many aspects of the Ghana Armed Forces, even beyond recruitment. Obi, a very quick one. Yes. Menya message be every soldier penny be power.
Okay.
Na bibi ntimi fa ne din tudwa.
Okay.
Wo kan wo mo a new arrangement for fefe ya ko so di mo akotene pa. Na or responded to or contributed to contribution Reverend Osu Edibai.
Okay.
Or say I currently operate a poultry farm with 2,400 beds and my weekly expenditure on feed and medication amounts to 14,000 cedis.
Weekly?
Yes. Based on that's weekly expenditure. Based on this, a stock of 50 beds per person will require not less than 400 cedis, Ghana cedis per week for proper upkeep. I therefore humbly request that the decision be reviewed and reconsidered in the light of these financial implications. Otherwise, the policy will be dead on arrival.
400 cedis every week. That's a lot of money for
Obi
Aoye household poultry. Maybe the consideration can be on medium to large scale for one bigger ones. 1,000, 2,000 beds for no, and a 50,000 beds. For.
Absolutely. And the principle no the is the skill. The principle, whichever skill a person would do. Now this a factor away. At the funding. Now no than China. In fact, Obi, any politicians no, they are here back upeo. Yaria ebema o colleague ako position party A ako position party B banso no one or you. Because some big projects, they are fantastic, they are okay. But you see, if you don't do it with PPP, so the beya ube free space. Now what is Sikaka cry or the modest resources available no ube spread the ako constituency by constituency. Ako undertake impactful projects now say wo puma sika ni nyina boa no GOG center e dey one expressway, one motorway, one flyover, one ube wie nso no na wonya hwe because nipa dodo na ewo nkuro nkituam nkuro ahodo mu no omo kwan no etiti apansam omunya nsiompo enom omunya akandempo moa womo agriculture. So there are some very fundamental basic needs ubetumi de sika nketenkete bi dia solve, and so money nyina so they question. Meanwhile that big money, no, you cannot even finish that project in 10 years. But if you do PPP, you have an arrangement at private sector beba and do one sika dia ba be wuram senka sa expressway we any other big projects are here to the be a story at nye sika fan 20 na of ankoni adi nyina problem ewo ho no. If we do some of these things PPP, you free that space in the private sector na the sika be wuram a oye wi a for 30 years 50 years to be a daso no to be a bia no de teteneka na wo so aban no wo ho adwodwo na say 50 million per constituency kra now tam 50 million cedis at the honorable BBB say on fa kwati a nkonya odi beyi ewo ho ama manfo ho atowom. Thousands of residents will feel that impact. So but again they are repeating the same errors. But another very worrying thing maybe in my bonnet my budget is so when him say and nyomwa NDC for 2 year did that Ghana for the bri wo money so poison wo mo adwene people who LGBT in some ho wo mo succeed here a penti MPP a ye ne conservative party a center right party ideologies, you know, yen so your philosophies yen so gain some so no they succeeded a propaganda, you know, campaign nationwide emobia konya adwen bi say MPP Krampo no yen is also gay for so e was our human sexual rights private members bill hun sem mo ba beje akonwa no Ghana fo nya ye hu ayawde awie through your propaganda mo ba beje akonwa no mo ba ya afei human sexual rights bill na ye de the same way I pass it, you know, ye de call February mu ne kuko all the processes according to our standing orders, all the way we even met the private members bill committee as first deputy speaker and oche honorable ahiafo let to ya no approve yi recommend my speaker e call gazetting. You are a lawyer. The moment a bill be call gazetting amateur we ya the first day of the third meeting of the first session of the 9th parliament bill no nedimo akotene let's say other people ne so ade tin ya anisifo akowi afrim wo mo akoyi afrim mahwe oye na kai e ba ye kan ho asem majority leader or leader of government business or ye chairman for business committee to speaker Bagbin so say speaker Bagbin and the order say yin free no ni wo hwe I say hey e be yan wama enti no yesesa de yen hwe no mra speaker Bagbin ba ya or say bill no from so bia ni ho enti yen sign efanto other people ne so all of us ye boy ensem Emma speaker Bagbin because speaker Bagbin de or ye opini amene no ananti ache wontin tasu emfra no mfa minim supporter or the support to Sabi from 2021 when we started it. He has been very consistent. Say no, he will never turn his back on the bill. And you know, he gave a directive. Claire said it should come back. Now, or director said embra back no 6 weeks new. It's been 6 weeks. And then we debated. They have never the leader of government business, majority leader, Honorable Mahama Yariga has blocked the bill.
President or head of the executive said Munya Majuma na mumfamra mo de Brenna sada na obesan.
No na me ka say. Ya dia ye kana na bi no mo ye. President Mahama and the majority leader Mahama Yariga akan bom say yem block bill no na say bill no and to me ameto order paper ne so a na ye ntumi anka ho asem a ene say yem pass. Yem pass a president ne so no aka say ono no if on my condition if more the bad ya ntino ono aka ne sa de a kira sofo no and one fair so I am certain the majority leader said oh please and I'm saying this say if almost the make no me boa they should prove me wrong by bring advertising the bill on Tuesday other people name pass it if they are saying said the make can say President Mahama and the majority leader Mahama Yariga akambo mu say Omuba defy Speaker Bagbin directives because Speaker's ruling would defy it has consequences. And Speaker Bagbin has ruled say the bill must be brought back on the other paper. 6 weeks now, They
but why has the speaker not commented on it?
They are defying, they are defying the orders of the speaker. As for Speaker Bagbin, his commitment to this is not in doubt. He have worked closely with him on this bill, and he has been bold everywhere, vocal when NDC was in opposition, when NDC has been in power. And I will not impugn his integrity whatsoever or credibility. But at the speaker, I'm not ruling. Now the chairman of the business committee said, "Oh my crime, madenema." And then Miss Original Menaso Parliament, Ebiza said, "And then Namubu Alpha Speaker Bagbin ruling." So, can I be a say Monfa Adenema Mikubisaya, the enumerator chief whip of the minority, Honorable Dafia Mepo, Eka, eyewitness of majority chief whip, Honorable Dafia Mepo, Eka or eyewitness you say, and can't almost priority home. Now a free mono say no budget and no more and they have postponed it indefinitely. We must suspend it. I just said he said it. I did interview with him. I'm in the line. So yes, say you can call him on the line. Let him come and deny. Say I just said 2026 answer.
And I said 2026 just 2 months.
Indefinite. No. What stops them from bringing the bill today? What stops them from bringing the bill tomorrow?
Budget.
No, in the budget, Minia BB Neta honorable, and ne business statement beto yenim you can't want 7. It's more than 15 pages.
Okay.
And it's a budget in Kwa, and from Tuesday to Friday, they be a budget, and we are concluding the budget debate, even somewhere Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
And even the time I will hear budget debates in Ekrano, you are able to pass any bill. When I just lay so the sponsors will just be there when the bill is read, they will just rise and bow. Just 1 second activity. How would that interrupt 24-hour sitting?
Okay.
If you even wanted to sit 24 hours.
Okay.
How would that interrupt? I need to back us budget into. Meanwhile, on the other paper, budget wasn't the only item I want to say. There are questions, there are bills, there are presentation of papers, reports, so many things. And now, no
suspicion is
they are the Buapayo and my canana. I can't boom say one block lay, That's one block on us. Other people, so now they be able to say that, Nasa Ghana for a free swap. And you be one say President Mahama, we're trying 4 years a free. No, be a because of one farmer. But the worrying thing, Ghana for disappointed, said President Mahama, no, Osia. A communicable bodies as of QBR or the Oka no LGBT or Susana no a communicable body be a bishia.
How do you
Osia Catholic business Catholic Bishops Conference or saying a bill on the Krehun curriculum and cure salty. Yes, as of Phobis uncle hobby or Komoko Pusu no was there be a fade private members bill no a Modiba Messign. Another a communicable body sukosia no biem Accra International Conference Center or say I fed on one casa a government bill ba I fey enrechi Christian Council ko wa was asisa position said if I fed on podi on na nwimpo mfa government sponsor baby am biom na momu if Parliament is able to pass it because when your assurance every the majority that was or block or CPEC until 6 weeks he has succeeded in blocking the bill. A see that in our parliamentary practice say bill no a young beto I to be beto other people so that's a nempu we say won't consider ye him free mu edaso
asempa
FE for bet you am abeka ho e bet me adaso abe 1 month impo na ye nka ho asem but recurring it will keep appearing this is the very first time in the history of our 4th Republican parliamentary practice bill abeto other people so na party on the day government on the day a year free mu na womo ede Ghana for adwene edi agro Sabre Mr. Sofo Imam for CSUs na nanu ahemfo empenimfo amowo mamu ha mon sorry waka wo mon sorry waka because man sorry waka nkeka mo ho ama mampani ehu so ntumi sabe a emfa mo nwa emfa mo fo that's the wakano or the promise more when he was in opposition. I'm sure home bompa ehwie ngodi gu ni so anointed no unanimously. So I don't ever pass LGBT amamo. Nanka nempoa President Trump, president of the United States, where issue directive will say every ambassador biane BBC just 2 days ago they aired it. It's been on their online portals. One policy instructions say we ambassador bia USA ambassador ambassador was the guiding principle in your relationship with that country on 2 cardinal conservative principles and say womo koye omanya womo eba be promote gain someone it will attract consequences. Number 2, so womo ye omanya womo eba be promote to abortion, it will attract consequences. Directly opposite from some time in the past, some liberals, yes, liberals now no more power, no, womo and ideologies, left to the center. The same ideologies with NDC, when we are left to the center, when they are liberals, they believe in LGBT tendencies as their philosophical underpinnings. One more every power. And you know, they also say, you know, President Trump, Republican Party, you know, the philosophy, it is a MPP philosophy. We are center right, yeah, conservative, yeah, so gain some so. And the Casabria President Mahama, President Trump. Okay. I'm a green light here when we say offer or support to IMF, World Bank, Punanka Usura. On to me metunsha also no. This is a time I can temper. O pass here the impunanka wa be seke simple kahon. And this is the time you are conspiring to block the bill. We will not allow them to block the bill. They must bring the bill on Tuesday. Otherwise, there will be serious demonstration in this country. Because why would you deceive everybody? What that would be a sin of me so. By lesson one bow President Mahama Nakasa Kahon at that time on about 2 Kahon, Sam George, all of them came there. Say, hey, yeah, MPP, one more baby pass gay bill be Nasa gay bill no more who so here 1 number ko count number ho enti no more apamo jati kwesing enti no se man to amana NDC for MPP for the MPP ba be shem pass it na me janom empenifu ekoto wo mo asum no de bufuo they two tier your candidates, you know, in a way that had never happened before. Poto Obi say LGBT ewa na se ukura 1,000 cities po on some Ghana ni ebe puni na di achrewo but ne come back akoda because chiwa de na no de succeed na ne maba na mo dwane ho and President Mahama
because of time
into the for budget
in the budget memo wakasa just on the
security
helicopter acquisition na me move do that in 5 minutes mama.
Very well, me that say in fact at the time one insecurity surround ekro at the time security break it down. At the time in 2021, not Ghana, Mekai almost for statistics embark it. And this is for improve statistics. Global Peace Index 2021. Ghana was the 2nd most peaceful country in Africa. Fast forward to 2025, you more recent rank by you tear the 7th. You drop off from 2nd most peaceful insecurity you was 7th in 2021. Now Ghana, we were considered according to Global Peace Index the 38th most peaceful country in the whole world. And some mine crime rate war form and so insecurity globally you tear 61st 61 from 38 to 61 a double. And tonight you say at the time Binyiri President Mahama na ne backyard insecurity nipa 48,000 two free omufie SSC free ya over hundreds of people ya 10,000 people call refugees for the first time Burkina Faso 13,000 refugees Ivory Coast at the time Boko every day the yeti wo ho etwa yemu ayayemu sisiye the yeti wo sampa nipa ewu at the time even insecurity na koso ama security officers ne kra are fearing for their lives. You hu video mu na soldier ni police no odwane the other time you see wo hwedium senye police for am ko rescue soldier for ya komukunwam at the time when even security officials fear for their lives. Anka Ghana for hwe ni mu se o man sika kakra e wono o ponina dia hwe security a enka distribute no equitably nanka ma align no to the priorities of our national security strategy. Woman yanisa. Woman kwa policy kapudo $1.2 billion say. And no and no kwa procurement. Na sa procurement mo kwa tuto helicopters mako 9 out of presidential jet me no. Obi, I must state here, sir. MPPDA, we have never been against yeto nyoma ama Air Force. Because yeni ohono de bias momwa yento plane, yento fighter jets, yento OPVs. Omo boni nyina gui. On air, okuje to Blakwa, any current deputy minister for defense, Broja Demfi, can say. Yeah, presidential jet Falcon. It is one of the best in Africa. It is in pristine condition. Pristine condition. Now, best buyer. Just a 2030 something. And nay. Almost say engine no bako kra say ya. Bako na adwuma no. Yen for president tinam soja phone tinam yen 2 dey be see for mo ho. And now, Debbie, okuja to Blakwa. Yes, and it's even more dangerous. Who can run? And that's very dangerous. Say, Bako, I say, yeah, for 40 plane, 40 engine, yeah, for Mampany and Tinem, Sabi, or your papa, Kambe Kasa. One say, our fleet is young. It is not going to be aging anytime soon. Into what the bar parliament is 6 fighter jets a crab bar parliament. Ombogui. And this and na when you sika $1.2 billion out of the taxpayers' money. Now be treaty edia to bibia. Fato bibia. Odenka tobacco pempo. Nanka former president. Because say yes support to say yento presidential jet my president. And tika tobacco pe. Empono dada now. Wo ha enne wo ba ya ade tin ya wo say afi de dada pressing condition no aye aging no wo de ka fakọ nanka omun enton na soso na fato ba ko kese pa Boeing business jet and a 170 capacity cra nanka
de no they explain so mu here long haul back and a short haul
me pacho me ba enti no Falcon no in any case ye wo Falcon na a short haul and I will see a pristine condition so a pristine condition na yakosi for 8 months and yakosi you na sa ba na wo ho no ma certify say airworthy and no bet me a short haul
now at all long haul
no top business Boeing jets kese pa 1 not 2
okay
and you know say they are going to have 3 presidential jets. One more pose the purchase of just 1 presidential jet, no, and they one more air top 2 presidential jet. Abe can they all no man 3. Number 2, some helicopters and 9 auto no. Katomu mienumpo. Na kafa ba kuma presidency o 2 kwanya. Ghana ha
helicopters yes I have back on captain
pacho me ba okay because say o mampani o tu kwan o Ghana ha e bi okota male sunyane fidie mi ade a na zida nsi ko hye ya enti nkransa nom ne ade nyina ne akwatia nom nyina no enti no so oba adankwaman ne asinkuruwa ne adubiase a na ko de helicopter ne ko na ko ato ba ko so a eno no ye for army anka eno fitted kese pa betumi afa 34 at a time fitted betumi discharge arms from it even from the air and no nanka we 2 nanka 2 na aka no fakoto fighter jets and betumi so ene ye wa hai obi e buy airspace na so ni permit na say air force ko confront now fighter jet be na dey confront no. And you prioritize fighter jets. Soldier for say armed forces a fighting force. And you prioritize the battle readiness of the Ghana armed forces.
That's soldier for catching a buying. And
I'm the ranking member on defense and interior. Soldier for say Ghana armed forces a fighting force and yet transportation agency. And you know what they need is just 1 presidential jet. And then you buy some 2 helicopters, and then you buy fighter jets, and then you buy UAVs, and then you buy APCs, armor, and then the Omato, and the armor personnel carriers. You started procurement in 2022, $40 million, no more so 40 babes or so. And then me bo ma baso OPVs ne so offshore patrol vessels no omu hia na before ni hia ye de ban parliament crowd the ban floor wo bogui only James Agaga honorable MP for Busa South or ye me colleague on the chairman of the defense interior at the time no ranking or no pet na hands are capture and say or support to ye omu bogui and they omu de no so aba ye bo ma baso
because 1.2 billion
yes into enu hia. And you know, I know this okay because it's going to strengthen the battle readiness of the Navy. And you know, helicopters 9, any presidential jet saying because for now the tools will be coming. How is that going to enhance the battle readiness of the Air Force? UAV, you know, and they are galam say. Who the soldier for this for chomo? I am boarding full soldiers attacking womono. You must now remove the human interface. Not wakoto and we museke see parts of fighter jets, but pilot to be Ntim to what tema ate bonase what tamale now control a bit to me consume so ako forest you shoot to scare omunya hu play kese wo so a to obi abeja ne chan fan wako no soldier for you will not put their lives at risk and you also remove the risk of compromise now with your save against you one anya ne sa what's with the luxury travel and the menya 3 private jets
presidential jets
3 presidential luxury jets wabra mukro ya and I must say baako krampo no you oppose it it's hypocrisy just last year and you know Ghanaians deserve an apology from NDC. President Akufo-Addo deserves an apology from NDC, but omu ria nasi omu parliament me no I will insist to say they should realign because so monkoto monsa agreement be they should realign the otherwise I will not be part of the approval. You can just buy 1 presidential jet, we will support. Yeah, but you can't have 3 presidential. And I know we are on 23rd of June 2025 on Mampeni or 22nd June or IGP or chief fire officer or controller general of immigration or Wunya Echo Jubilee House and make big announcement and then in the presidency website president makes big announcement 1 billion cedis to read to each of the security agencies at the 23rd June 2025 no not a Ghanaian Times front page but not even 1 CD has gone. Bisa police force where is the 1 billion cedis now? Or Mampeni at the two front page, you know, say or they be to at a time when we are facing threats of extremism and violent extremism and terrorism. DSC Burkina Faso, DSC Togo,
so
and
I think your point is well.
No, I'm concluding on this point. Medisi Hano. At a time infiltration of terrorism, you have to resource immigration to be able to safeguard our borders. Also, you will not do it. You rather blow $1.2 billion on luxury jets. And if you prisons, I introduce Mamembo Basso, Director General for Prison Service, Mrs. Bafuboni, or the innovation on agric, industrial and health into the Saturday Bank Ministry of Education between the and Kurano school tire or mopam between the contracts in the Krama now come mopam IGF and in agric and no mu being so omu here agricultural equipment omu here industrial equipment where you were near. What you didn't factor that in the budget, and rather you are prioritizing $1.2 billion. You are going to blow it on luxury jets. How can we be part of such arrangement? So and to we will insist that they should realign in line with our priorities.
Very well.
Now, only the last one, narcotics control. Oko airport, Nakok. The whole of Ghana, Temaport, Takoradi Port, Accra Kotoka International Airport, Kumasi Prempeh the first airport, and the Yakubu Tali International Airport Tamale. The only intrusive narcotic detection scanner yawo Aviance. Only one.
One pair.
And the scanners are let me explain the distinction. Just not normal scanners.
I can't
maybe what the cocaine FM1. What the cocaine FM1. Nobody will be able to detect if you conceal it well. And so on top any detective, any intrusive narcotic detection scanner.
Any budget we mo.
Said the beya ombe ma ho kwan na ko for dia fam. E wie ne ko kan ho asem a na mo ba beto ahye so ye fie. Why didn't you buy intrusive detective scanners to be able to detect cocaine? Mo ba be bie ma obi aye the opa atwe the opa free mu.
Honorable BBB, me entie on the acquisition of jet. He's raised some very salient point or reaction here there, me pacho.
Yo, me da say obi answer me kwen no so. I'm saying Reverend Kabibi for LGBTQ plus na count.
Plus count.
Okay, so
you see every other paper na so.
Senior all can minyantie majority chief whip. Minyantie no ti me pese me ko no sa.
That's fine.
But the kwasem they say senior all can. Me da bia me ka bibi say obi kura be ka bibia. Say Reverend Charles Usu ka metena se kakra enya MPP. Look, you had an opportunity. A private members bill.
Yes.
Yebra okahubi and omo ye ade no. Parliament ye na adwuma ni the same people ya bebre na omo retain your seat ya omo yam say omo about together almost all of them
are still in the house, sure.
And omo de mo ayade ni ni awie koto president Kufuor anim pe.
That's
what the parliament.
It's still in parliament. You see, this matter. So on what basis? Now President Kufuor can say, the secretary throw letter. I don't want to catch it.
That's what was in the
letter. No secretary, and not be due to letter. No trouble. Nay, then a more letter.
Or say based on a court
injunction. Then as president, or then I knew whom court, Yanadie, BBM, what was there? It's also none who Ontario. So, Penny, you do mathematics. Then no trust, I let them. You see, don't forget, even in the course of our case, Crown or court,
yes.
The same Supreme Court had an opportunity around 24 July 2024 to rule on this. Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act. So okay, which act said say criminalize it,
sodomy.
Yes, but because the reason I went to the Supreme Court was Senagan ni is a Dr. Bibi no pay because of the freedom of this freedoms what your constitution did not opposite Supreme Court interpret sa freedom vis-a-vis not unconstitutionalize it. The 104 now, section 104. Okay. And the Supreme Court said no. At the time, na President Kufuor adiano parliament. I say almost krata no ko no sign. No say Supreme Court. At the time, President Kufuor had the case as na Richard Sky cry. Okay, say that matter came up. Now Richard Sky crime file application was Supreme Court.
No.
Oh no, file
another application.
No.
Yes.
There were two applications. Before Richard Sky's one,
there was an injunction pending.
No, but the lady had gone to. The president mentioned say Richard Sky a file an application at the Supreme Court.
Yes, he mentioned two cases.
Why
if you read the release from Ashanti Bediye,
yes, there were two
cases.
Case
and Richard Sky.
No, the president had an opportunity of speaking on the matter and yet let them know.
Okay.
And at the time, Google now the president went somewhere. And I'm saying he was
I thought you were referring to
not the letter.
Okay.
At the time, our president can't say he cannot do it. Now Richard Sky, I'm saying it was a day after, and Richard Sky filing.
Okay.
It is how the president managed to know that Richard Sky and I'm so echo filing. And no. But you see, I have always said it. Say, 24 July Supreme Court decision now they buy and no affirme 104 na criminalizes our sodomy way. It was a big opportunity to our president Bessign. Nothing would have happened. In fact, there is this whole thing about whether o file and you're a lawyer. O file an application.
So you a lawyer, they would intimidate you.
Whether
you a lawyer. Only you a lawyer.
Once a court be no, there's been that case. Okay, good. It is there will be filing an application.
It doesn't act as an
automatic stay. but yet the presidency thought so because of the pendency of that matter unsigned till the matter is determined. Indeed, the difference between President Kufuor and President Mahama at this point, and they said President Mahama has openly said, "Say, I don't believe in this, but baby, ejuma omo ye na nyame ejuma omo wie de banne ade so." We never had this promise from President Kufuor. In fact, as I speak to you, I can assure you, wow, kind, you can say 2026. Oh, the yenwie budget, opa, yenwie budget in ochna, it will be listed because no kwasem ni can, but this is a major bill. We need time. Yenya ya betre ya adwen ho. Enye one of those. This is a major one. Yenya the best in terms of
but
the
just
law.
late now. Just 1 second.
Don't worry. Your belly amount. I'm with you.
We'll use the vacation period to do the consultation.
I'm with him. And I'm very hopeful. And check pass it. And we have a committed president. Don't change court. Opa yemfa yenwie. Ni yemfa nkoto president anim. No chena wo kokoto be sign.
Yes, since the Equasi versus AG has made it clear now.
How is it different? Have you read that decision, the 24th July decision?
No, I get it. But I want to say, the court was quite clear, sir, in the performance of a constitutional duty.
Yes.
Unless the court explicitly...
Chief, you see, there were other decisions before
Or even the court referred to those other decisions.
Absolutely. So there were cases now you bet me busy also be. You see, so that is it. For me, near my many say Mahama is the hope. Well, when you make catch or Debian say, oh, be full say within this period, yes, or ye be because Nanyama say it's within 10 months, no be a person be an say be an it's a minute reverend yardring. Okay. And Yaman Koyi, as a President Mahama Yeni, obeyenso. Yamia Duma, ye repe Reverend Charles, who's been so interest to happen. A co President Mahama Nimun ne was sure. So best. Look, this helicopter terrace be any fee.
Oh, sir.
Assembly any fee. You see, and now I'm saying no, and then answer. President, your friends and former defense minister. It's be cry minim committee also there, but it appears as a reverend no almost a boy braka. Because you see, former defense minister also he is for it. Only problem Nitiwu.
But who has been against it?
For it. Also Obe asking for some tweeting.
Sure. Sure.
But tweaking. But a defense minister also he is for it. No say NDC hypocrisy. That was his main point.
Okay.
Say own up. Say I dare no Todiama. But you see, the current deputy finance minister, who's the finance minister, no defense, so say.
Oh yes.
The deputy no can be trained. Parliament no. Or say on also information from the defense ministry. They say plain na a wohon bakope na so fe yedwuma.
Afa no wahu.
So or say bakope on ya okay. But you see
to be no se me ento.
Or say bakope na yedwuma.
I know what say we misan we you. Hey, Obi.
David,
is a lawyer for Ashanti.
But this issue here. No. You see, this Mama Chowa baby, I knew Monya dream. The beta omoka say, to luxury jets for the presidency. With the greatest respect. Unim said this, I will be. Unim said this, luxury jet for the presidency. Are you able to say, as ranking member on Interior and Defense?
I know the place you're going to buy.
Oh, can SCP say, and yet an advice from the military high command, no, and the more they do flights. I mean, it's really.
You make can say military high command. Woman, the more priorities in
okay.
In order of priority. And so the need be also listen a critical logistical needs. Battle readiness is the first and key.
Okay.
Battle readiness will be number one before the transportation, capacity. Yes, and
the government jumped.
Now ukoyi the battle readiness in film. Now the over which I'm not against it anyway.
Okay.
I've always advocated that President President Mahama deserves to be in a safe and befitting private jet. Yeah. And I even says a Boeing business jet because from President Mahama. Sure. It's for Ghana.
Okay.
And you buy one, you don't go and buy two.
Oh, that be
you don't go and buy two and add to another one to be 3. One crown, one pumubugu. Now what about Tommy?
Oh, Reverend, also say, yeah.
Finally, now suffer Charles and fire.
That will be one no question the hypocrisy bit. You see, also Bianca cost an idea was. So Bianca is Cassam, ye told back why, ye told we are, ye told we are.
That's how break down them.
Thank you. And none yet be agroni. Okay. Because Miss Minnie, they are compare. Because you see, this thing about see a cotard, yeah, my own tono. A young name, Gina principles, and Tanama too. By young Mao being so fat and no so.
One hour, I wasn't the principal.
No, but young for good job, black. Brother, oh, economy,
oh, sir,
Onyamia dome,
oh, sir, economy at this school for a almost surprising for the first headmaster. The principle in
Pimpin, of course, my name says here Rituli military. But you see, oh yeah, now the baby, oh the retooling there, retooling, but don't fair no so. And fan conco resist Kabi and Fabias na umfa.
I said they've raised the issue, sir. And then Rauko boy was here, sir. Even when you take the 1.2 billion I'm proposing from the little research he's done, the most sophisticated helicopter, would be around $50 million, brand new.
No, 15 to 20 million.
I would have fun up market, $50 million. That should get you $200 million. And I will pay even Boeing, the most sophisticated
Boeing business jet. $170 million.
Two patches.
The 1.2 billion, he thinks
now when the catch us 1.2 billion, is that what the finance? Oh, cow say you better side, watch us and open in here better the retulio. Is that what you heard?
Absolutely.
I made sure say ranking member Kasawa. Watch us almost the list. What you say?
I've mentioned the list. OPVs, 2 OPVs.
We've gotten it.
So 4 helicopters.
I think to be fair,
two luxury jets.
That's also when himself helicopter be a 10 million. That's all the about near the
it's fair.
Obi.
So for Charles.
And some are across no question. LGBTQ plus. We are me dancing in your studio.
Hey, in some day what can be?
Say, I can't be our con. We miss in China. Ebi a minu so 40 here. And 8 and minu 8 7 canon.
Yes.
And
Moses for morning.
Yes, Moses for.
And they be on Bechemi. And until another danko Kufado. Now me who saw a major or a man and a crap recope. If I man spare them. But I don't want to make says I'm not being a crown in room any.
Yes.
Not miracle. Oh, no, can I make no?
Yeah. No, so I think the certain president reinforced that point.
I've said it on Peace FM. Say, okay. The Mijina so to about Barco.
Yeah, LGBTQ.
And I'm the trouble with Mahama. And I voted for NDC. Yeah. I'm telling you. And that you call bomb pie man.
So for some years, require.
It's
on the lighter side. It's on the lighter side.
Sure, I remember.
Me so penny apostle doctor, also be prophet.
Yes.
E pega microphone can say na come penti onyame di
omo
na meti wonna sabe a wisia cry den agume winim di ntia obeje owura Mahama be gina ha na okasa na oka na ni suadi hu de wo ma oman no na afi wahia nyame asofo nti oka de da yakoma so oka nsamiensa o se de di kan o ye bibini de toso o ye ganani na de toso miensa o ye kristoni Sanya ma miensa we nyina ya chiwade miensa we nyina na chiwade ne se oba ne oba den ebeda ana be ma ne be ma beda nti ono mo mpani de oba obe make sure say be sign is bill o say in 4 years ne nko na wieye waka say bia o di 4 years nti wadaada yen
yes
ne o man na nsu beto a
if you am
inframedi kan
okay
na emuna nso kire as a change of tongues tachema dan the last time God me hu no parliament me yam sheme and na mo ye rabagwin abaso
okay
but you know on sisa na no on nane na chi mayen ah o kan say bill no wo hu boni bi ewom nti o mo famra no munle
no say you know it's not Yewra Bagben had ruled. There was this you say okay so Yewra Mahama Yariga say or no dear although there were different thoughts say yes. Or four say as I say President Ntim sign because we don't need to go through this again. Until we deferred it, sub speaker Amrano may really well also. No, really, yes, sir. It died with the old day. That is consistent with President Mahama position.
But no, say speak on Unimohe, na speaker and a diet is in him free. But and a speaker because no credit. No must come.
Reverend, I been Cocoa Midi baby. Oto toa
me no na break your faster
oto toa ebin ochia ebin onu anso a ebin how that ye pese bill no ye de kop mapa ho mepani Mahama na osan bill man
obesan so
look we are not joking no 98% of Ghanaians actually say ye pesa ade no na me sabi me abofra me say apart from say onyame and yi Mahama owura Mahama Emma yen. Can me believe say Yankopon de ma Ghana. The tosum you know. Nye no masem ma me gina so na de toba ma no.
Now no hon so da.
Enti saa de no eye bibia e come to say de me moja. And one some na make. Say and there ha me kra na say sabi America fo na esuru o kra na me ni e ka wasam yi.
Me kan you.
Da bi nyawo me kan sofo. Sabi ni sofo no.
Yes.
You are lawyer for some come out and so forth.
And moment money is that here. To collect some on to my me Trump me follow no. Every day on Ntim me dan about one. Because my time we are anajo.
O so we
and I'm shed the why nyina kopim say a day me hu say about 1 o'clock na mada.
Wo jini dia me
me to say me hu no kwa na me wu. Me hu Donald Trump na me hu dia me nyem. We need to me penance am because of the stance it's here LGBTQ. We need say ono stress na obitimi ko ditro say oh me gay ni e pa me kumi na man. America say
yeah ma asylum.
Yeah ma asylum. Yeah ma visa kra. In fact they say kra na healthcare na no munya free kra na wo twem. Untim ko yegi na unko say
agenda for crowd exercise your
enti ka ye no de yesuro mpo no enu nti betima hwehwe ho de yesie kra no ene eni hobiem. What are we waiting for? Because you Mahama ni mfiti asiase o kan ye o share pop a Catholic Bishop conference for o kan say o be no because a private member kra nti ena ama niema call de call ye nti ono kra de pese say aban na nkasa kra hwe na sponsor say be sikasa mina iden we thought say
no speaker Bagben
don't you also think sir the most profound statement yet a leader be able to make ebema the stance on an issue I clear when the president speaks in authoritative terms about this whole conversation around LGBTQ the definition of the marriage so and a definition of the gender so the president has been clear we share Christian Council say for him this country gender a male female hold on also the gender is given to you at birth male female marriage or say between a man and a woman what else
but we are for the kwapem price before program what you know
mitieno
that's not kind LGBT we actually science or
so one now say ankotone
no you say oh yeah we answer okwa na because you tell one some so as for say o mampani be gina waka say sabi nya abodam sema so we hear so be catch say oba and ye wo obi or oba ye wo obi or ebem do you need so obi be catch you nya abodam sema nka wo hear so be catch say oba ntimi nware oba because oba ne oba ntimi nwuma ne yi na be man ntimi ngoma ne yi
but no be saa way no present yewura ba na o say o ye mkaka we no de ye ne ayi unim o kan o say President Mahama ne President Mahama kan parliament enya sa discussion na President Mahama senka state no take up the ball catch and say no private speaker ba ben kan o say ono na catch President
Mahama what me can say aduane a wo no aben no to bebe
no until adent mo na mo say my mukuku mu
so aye state sponsor
lawyer dey to interject on law school say ko bi
obi aye private member aye state sponsor do say dey tie bia don me dey nti a some kan na ma twi break ni say yewura Mahama bo wie ne term
okay.
But anan komodie ne be sa na dey yem hihie den ba because you see the o waka no so in fact komodie course 2024 ye tete ya nenim say e den ya akia ne ke bill no kra dey be sign because you see yewura Mahmud ba omia e bontoa so kan say
ono so kan
chiwade na Muslim kra dey kwa dey fan kan say so George say yewura ayi kan say Mahama kan the man me gidi en say be yewura ba omia that time no more power I don't know man sign nti me gi ono ne die ne di say oba okay sign
okay
nti yes we can be about mama ne mre if you say be mfie dan nkoy na nso so de me ne kan na me yema hye me kakra say afa de ade I say ye le no ye firi so wotie de o se ye nua
afiam
popo kasa ya kan ya me nua mi ntimi nyina kinje wo sofo don't media trust nti me gidi say aso kan no na kore bi wo mu se na tia na sabi waso mo ye ne Ghana fo ni ni
I don't can dey
sort ya say enyo priority ananga sa na
2026 ansa o mama kwa ma na beto da what that paper so keke kura no
sabi
suspend indefinitely
obi
hey na passage no 2038
obi bo share den kadan ye be ko so adan yewura Mahama ka
okay
in spite of ni papa all year any abasobody e dey man nyina ye tiase ni nyina ye ne mo bibia ni ho a legacy bia ni ho betime jade am man Ghana say ni pen so ye dey ensa be hye mra se oba ni oba entimi enya aware be man ni be man entimi nya aware because the one say one day one no ogina nyame fie preach o asem so God ye tetewa wonnim hwe de nyame asem de I mean yemfani agro nti otimi gina simpie so ana wo hwe o mampani a one ne nkrofo ne nafofo ka bom no mu si baabi a yebetima sum nyankopon asonda ba ko 10
and on the year you ne nafofo
o wose ana wo ka so se nkrofo bo an
okay
na nyese asonda keke o mo se si baabi a nyame asofo we den bebeda say nipa we nka yan discussing sem we den e wo no timi dia ahobrase mu ni ani die mu ni buo kwan so ahobrase mu mampani oda wo maburu yanam bi mu yesa na yakoma ye ya yesrew di obetima ye o mi ba di obetima ye bia ma o man
parliamentarians yenua pani ka ho
o majority leader
say adwuma o man pani wa de o say the brain on the side
muna mukura
reverend ye na kasa kire
muna mukura majority
ka kire ye
Mahama yarega na president Mahama abone pass on phone na block
obi as we speak you know minority phone
Mahama yarega no I am saying it here Mahama yarega na president Mahama abone pass on block bill no enti so mo say me boa they should prove me wrong by advertising the bill on Tuesday
obi
on other paper
minority for the Ntim can kese say ye ka ko ye
na speak council 6 weeks o
and you must in change
6 weeks
me person go back
my position has been
no the government no they told me you know ye ka say ya it is the majority and na 2 minutes show mo nsa o metima lay paper na me boa
that's true
ama ya hwehon ye adwuma
that's true
say ye ka say parliament na ye ka generalize na it as if so be a bit man there be some majority leader ma ho kwan a say the third year rules e
government business
this ono nti enua Mahama yarega na nse na mse na so ahye because of bokunti and it is bokwa ajo
anyo yo
bokwa ba fam bokwa ba fam
anyo yo MPC ntwinko obi ntwinko fie o
bokwa ajo dia kon konse
4 months MPC no bi
emra na yen hwe because you say Ashanti manura nyame aduma ofri no ofri akwantu mo ba omo issue statement say omo de you can say finality then eba. It means that those are final some compromise here then.
You don't concentrate on your
don't concentrate now for bill Ryan. Now you don't have man some now try it. As you give family.
Is it me cry? Me cry.
I was saying we are with you come be.
Tuesday no. One more enfa bill no mra. No more but speaker of parliament media minimum say.
Ni ruling in 6 weeks.
Ni ruling no say and obi le boost ruling is what. Enya consequence. On tite sukoko nche Mahama Yaraga. He is a chairman of the business committee. And for speaker I'm a ruling that's 6 weeks. And yes sir, Ghanaians may roping means and our penny speaker as well can move on. I know that bad man for 5 years say na speaker or tite so on na 6 weeks. Neze you must budget inti. Meanwhile I'm to church other bills fam.
This whole thing SSC yes our bill but be crowd am say an overkill. It is a criminal offense in Ghana. Unnatural canana. Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect.
Of course, the nearby keka
and I'll share definition of unnatural canana.
You have to establish penetration.
I get that. I'm saying
and promotion.
You see, unnatural. Even if you decide, say, natural, which we know, of course. But you see, say, and the commitment is there. The president has shown. In fact, only can opposition effort is any about me. But when you be now, bet me assurance say, I deal with easy.